All right, I am happy to welcome in Lawson Crouse, who is the winner of we're a little bit behind still because of COVID, Lawson, the winner of the 2020-21 Shane Doan Good Guy Award. For those of you who don't know, we give this out on an annual basis. There've only been two winners previously, Brad Richardson and Christian Fisher, but to a guy who is always open to media, respects our profession, and not just that, but doesn't speak in cliches, gives us really deep analytical content. So thank you, Lawson, for doing that. And congratulations, first of all, on winning the award.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's obviously a huge honor whenever you're accepting an award with Shane Doan's name in it. So, very proud.
How does it feel to be taking it out of Christian Fisher's hands?
I mean, Fish might be a little bit upset about that. He's not going back to back, but it's great. Obviously you guys are a big part of hockey and kind of relaying the pregame, postgame, and all the interviews. So it's nice for us to be able to, give you that content that can kind of connect you with the fans and such. So yeah, it's good.
I'll get back to that in a minute, but this award is named after a guy that you know well. Can you just maybe detail your relationship with Shane and how it has grown and how maybe he's helped you?
Yeah, Shane's been a huge part of my career. I was fortunate enough to play with him my rookie year, and I learned so much from him. The way that he conducted himself, the way that, he just made time for everyone. It didn't matter if you were a teammate, a fan, media. He always had time for everyone, and he really connected with you. It wasn't just going through a normal conversation. He really wanted to learn about you and get to know you better. And that was huge for me as a young kid coming into a new league. Obviously fulfilling a dream that I've always had since I've been a young kid, and to have that leadership and a guy like Shane to, show me the ropes and just teach me and learn from him how to be a true professional, and at the end of the day, just a really good person.
Yeah, very few people that I've met who just literally engage with everybody they meet. And as many of us know around there, you often have to cut off the conversation with Shane because he's probably not going to cut it off with you.
Yeah, you can get stuck in there for a bit, but when you're talking with him, it's it's a very good chat. And anytime I see him in the hall, I'm always saying hi to him and seeing what he has to say.
Could he help you as a player as well? Similar positions. I mean, he'll be the first one to say that you skate much better than he did, but could he help you given the position?
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, like whenever I see him, like after games, whether it's a good game or a bad game, he's still taking that time to come over and he's giving credit to things that he thought I did well throughout that game, and maybe some things that I could improve on. So it's obviously a very knowledgeable guy. He's been in the league forever, and he's been through everything. He's been up in the highs and the lows, and just a very knowledgeable man. And yeah, he's helped me out a lot. I mean, last year I struggled to produce in terms of scoring goals, and I had many good chats with him on just sticking to what got me here, and believing in myself, and that was a big thing. And yeah, it's been awesome having him around.
Yeah, I'm happy to see that you've broken off your relationship with the Posts, because that
Yeah,
was unbelievably frustrating last season.
yeah, that was crazy.
It really was.
Yeah.
So listen, I want to talk about the media aspect of this a little bit. I know pro players generally go through some form of media training. What do they tell you about us other than we're evil?
So actually,
You just brushed that off like, yeah, they do tell you you're evil, Craig. They do.
no, not at all. It's they kind of give you stuff on like things to avoid. You know what I mean? Like there's
Sure.
a lot of emotions after a hockey game. Like people, if I have a bad game, like there's some things that you probably shouldn't say. So they kind of just try and tell you like, hey, it's great to show your personality and be open and give everything you want, but at the end of the day, you still have there's still things that you can and can't say, right? With I mean, I try and get outside the box as much as I can with you guys. Instead of, like you said, just giving you the cliche, like the one-liners, I try and build off things and talk from the heart. But they're open. They want you to show your personality, but also be professional about it. I guess that's the best way I could describe it.
The way that you approach it, is that just who you are? Is that who you've always been?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really try and put on a show for anyone. I am who I am.
Mhm.
Um, I've done interviews in the past where I've been a little bit worked up, but that's just the person I am. I try and speak from the heart, and sometimes it comes out great, and sometimes not so much. And sometimes you're laying in bed at night thinking about, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that, but it is what it is. You guys are awesome here, and very easy to work with.
I understand that you were a pretty good baseball player as well. I wanted to ask you a little bit about your baseball career. As I mentioned to you, your dad sent
Yeah.
me a video of you going yard. So I need to find out a little bit more about this baseball career and if you ever thought about pursuing that instead.
Well, actually, so growing up, I was always one of those kids that played a lot of sports, bouncing around from golf to hockey to spring hockey to baseball to lacrosse. Like it was everything. I think pretty much the only sport I never really played was basketball and soccer. Um, but I think it's so important for kids nowadays to get out there and try different things. That's some of my friends that are still friends with me, and I'm still friends with them. I met playing sports growing up as a kid, and just getting that experience. And as hockey players, we need the kind of the coordination, the speed, the strength, the size, so we can kind of go into different sports. And I really loved baseball growing up. Those were kind of the two that I would play the most, would be hockey and baseball. And it just got to the point where um, yeah, I couldn't do both anymore. It was pick one or the other, and obviously being from Canada, hockey was, you wake up in the morning and hockey's the first thing on your mind. You're watching TV, you're watching TSN, it's hockey highlights. And I love baseball. I was pretty good at it. But yeah, it's just, the spring hockey tournaments rolled around, and it was like you can't it was just too hard on my parents and myself. So I think once I got to it was pretty much before my OHL draft, it was like, okay, like enough with the
Okay.
baseball. Like I loved it, but it was time to focus on strictly hockey.
How did so it was as simple as I'm Canadian. Look, hockey is the first love.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
got you.
There
Yeah.
was no questions there for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess what level did you play in your last couple of years? How far did this go?
So in Canada, it's like, you just have your typical baseball teams, like each town has their team. And then so I was from Mount Bridges, which is a small town outside of London, and then London had a AAA ball club, and it was actually that year that I stopped playing when they asked me to come out and play for them. But I
Mhm.
was like, that's full-time baseball, you know what I mean? It's like I couldn't do that. So that's kind of when I kicked the can and just said, you know what, it's just hockey from here on out.
What'd you play? What position?
So I played a little bit of everything. I started out, back then when you're young, you kind of rotate the pitching. So I was started out pitching. I was pretty good at pitching. Then I moved to third base and then over to first base, and I was kind of just bouncing back and forth between third and first.
And you're a left-handed hitter, did I see?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Did you hit for power? It sure looked like it.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been a pretty big kid. When I was younger, I was very, very lanky though. But yeah, I still had some good power when I was a kid. But it's fun nowadays when you get to go out to the batting practices and take a couple cuts and talk with the MLB players and kind of compare like the lifestyles in the locker room and like seeing what they do, how they prepare for a game. Like they're sitting there all day, just like getting ready and nonchalant, like going through the motions. Whereas then you come into the hockey room and it's just like so focused and you have to be so dialed in all the time when you know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's just like, it's cool to compare the two different sports for sure.
Yeah, baseball clubhouses are definitely
Yeah. It's
a lot
like
more
a
laid back.
relaxed, laid back. Let's have some fun here.
Yeah. What was the actual BP experience like?
So I've done 3 batting practices now. It's been cool. The first time I ever did it, I was in we were in Florida for the draft, so they took us all out to the Marlins ballpark, and I think I was actually the only one out of that group to hit a home run. But I would have been like 18 maybe.
Okay.
And the media was making such a big deal out of it. And I was just like, oh yeah, this is great. Like I played baseball growing up. Like I didn't really think it was that special. And then everyone was making a big deal out of it. And then actually I think a couple years back we went to the Diamond, the D-backs game, and before we showed up early and they let us take batting practice, and I hit another one out there. So I mean, we actually have a bunch of good ball players on our team. There was a few of us that went to Ohio State ball batting practice this year, and like Fish actually hit. I think Fish and Zinger hit the most out, but like
Hmm.
we like I don't know. I think it's just hockey players were so athletic and like coordinated that it seems like we can just like. I mean, I'm not saying we could jump into an MLB game, but like if you give us a bat and 10 swings, like I think the odds are pretty good.
All right. I got to ask you about, I'd be remiss in not asking about this, and you know where I'm going with this because everybody wants to know. Your dog has gained some fame over the years. What is Butter up to, Butter Pig up to these days? And how's his appointment calendar looking?
He's been good. He's 3 now. He's over 3, and he's a very he's an easy dog. He likes to sleep a lot. He's got such a cool personality. He's like my little kid. I treat him like my little boy, and every time I come through the door, he's always standing there smiling, waiting for me to come home. It's great, but he's been good. He's battling his allergies. He's gets French bulldogs. Sometimes they get bad allergies, so
Yeah.
I stay on top of that with the vet and whatnot. But he actually got stung by a scorpion not too long ago,
Oh no. See,
and
another one of those Arizona perils that right there.
yeah, and Claire and I, we didn't really know, like, we had no idea what was going to happen. So we were like, and this was like probably 10:45 at night. So he jumped off, like he climbed off the bed and then came into the kitchen. All heard us, like he cried, and I was like, what's going on? And then Claire's like, he's not putting any weight on his leg. Like, did he jump off the bed? And I was like, no, not that I noticed. We came out, and then there was a scorpion laying right beside him. I'm like, oh
Oh,
no, here we go. Some panic set in, and we're like, we got to get to the vet. Like, how long does he have? But we had no idea. So I literally grabbed him. We threw him in the car, and we're driving to the 24-hour vet, which I had at the time had no clue where I was going. Like, we hadn't even found
yeah.
one yet. I was just in the car driving. Like,
Experience. Yeah.
where am I driving? I don't know. But eventually we found one, and then we called, and they're like, actually, like, calm down. It's actually going to be okay. Like, go home. Like, it doesn't affect them much, unless the only way you'll have an issue is if he's allergic to the venom or whatever. But she said the hardest thing would be to just like kind of soothe the pain. And we felt so bad. Like, we brought him back home, and if he could have cried, he would have cried. Like, I could see it in his eyes. He was in a lot of pain. Like, he was shaking uncontrollably. But the next morning we woke up and he was completely fine. So thank goodness. Yeah.
Is he there?
Yeah, he's down here. He's crying. I'll try and pick him up. He's
Okay.
probably wants up on my lap.
We got to get a shot of Butter. So,
Oh, taking the computer down with. You still there?
yep, still here. Hey, Butter, you got, there it is. See, this is what everybody comes for, right?
Yeah, this is
What's
what
up, Butter?
he's like. Oh no, not all this media again.
I'm done with you guys.
Yeah,
Paparazzi. Leave me alone.
yeah.
I'm sorry to hear about the scorpion sting. That's brutal, but glad to hear he's okay.
Oh yeah, he's good now.
Does he still do zoomies?
Actually, he's calmed down on those, but apparently he had a really good one the other day when we were in Dallas. He was buzzing underneath the Christmas tree.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. I want to ask you a little bit about your season. Butter can stay. I'm cool with that. I think everyone is cool with that, actually. You talked at Media Day about this being a fresh start, new staff, new opportunity, just so much fresh about this. Can you just rehash that a little bit? Where you were at maybe when you went into the off season, and then what you did and what you thought about to prepare for this one?
Yeah, well, obviously I was, frustrated and a little bit disappointed with my year last year, and I knew that in order for me to come back and have a good season, I needed to, start from scratch and reset my mind, reset how I approach my training, games, practices, and it just took a lot of mental work. And I'm not going to get into all my secrets because it might come across as a little bit weird, but it was just positive thinking nonstop every day, and um, that helped me. That truly did really help me. Um, and then I think in terms of coming in here with, we had pretty much an entire new team and new coaching staff. And at that point it was, okay, let's try and get together and get to know these guys, see what they're like, and then come together. And, we had a great preseason. Personally, I had one of my best preseasons, and that, you know, it was just preseason, but at the end of the day, that was a huge thing for my confidence. And confidence is hard to come by when you don't have it. So you just got to run with it. And it all comes down to just staying positive. And um, you know, I guess that's it.
Yeah, you mentioned positive thinking. I don't want to delve too much if you don't want to share that, but the psychological aspect of this game is a lot bigger than people realize.
Oh, it's huge. And I mean, it seems like no matter what you do in life, it's all the battle between your own ears. And your thoughts are so powerful. It's if you're negative thinking, then you're going to wake up in the morning and then you're going to be like, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to do this, I'm not feeling 100%. But when you approach it with a positive attitude, you're kind of getting rid of all those excuses that you can control. And that's kind of just how I wanted to like I said, like clearing that slate and reset my brain in the way that I approach things, and that's been huge.
How did you prepare for the idea of a rebuild? You knew a lot of people were going to be gone. You knew the organization's plans. I know you guys are, coaches and players still they play to win. It doesn't matter what else is happening around them. So how did you prepare for, the situation that this organization is going to be in this season, probably next season as well?
Yeah, I just thought to myself, and it's like, hey, listen, my job's to go out there and play hockey, and being a competitive athlete, the only thing I can control is how I play each and every night. Doesn't matter what we're going through as a team. I'm going to go out there and try and be the best version of myself. And I approach it with that attitude, and I think that's probably the best thing you can do, right? Like I can't control what's going on behind the scenes. That's completely out of my control. So it's just sticking to the things that you can control and running with them, and doing everything to the best of your ability. And that's just the way I've been raised, and um, that's what I'm going to continue to do.
How are you feeling about the state of your game and the opportunity you're getting and working with Andre?
Yeah, Andre's been awesome. I've came in and I've been playing the most I've ever played since junior, and it's been great. Um, he's a smart coach. He's intelligent. He's he's very interactive. Like he's very easy to talk to. If he has an issue or you have an issue, it's great. You can just hash it out right on the spot. And um, like I said, that ice time thing was a big one. Getting that opportunity and just running with it and trying to make the most of it. And try not to think too much out there, just play hockey and have fun. And I think that's kind of the key. When you're having fun with things go well. And um, you just gotta, when you're hot, you gotta try and stay hot. And then when you're not hot, you gotta try and do things to get you back into those right areas and get those chances so that you can, try and make the most of every opportunity.
You like you like how you're playing so far though this season?
I mean, yeah, I'm like, me, I'm very critical of myself. I'm, the hardest person on myself. And yeah, I've had really good games. I've had some games that I didn't love, but it comes back to that whole mindset of just getting rid of them. Whereas in previous years, I would sit there and dwell on them and think about them, and it'd keep me up at night. And I'd be like, it's just like, it's done. It's in the past. I can't change it. I know I didn't have my best effort. I know wasn't great there, but move on. It's when you sit and think about things, it never ends well, and then it just snowballs, and before you know it, you're pushing this huge pile of snow, and you just can't keep up. So it's just it all comes back to that positive thinking and just sticking with it and just believing in yourself. I think that's been my biggest thing, is just believing in myself and knowing what I'm capable of doing each and every night.
All right, Lawson, thank you for joining me. Thank you for being you. Thank you for the respect that you show our profession. So the award is well deserved.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.